Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the third day of 20 Days of Cut Files, hosted by Confessions of a Paper Addict. And what that means is that you can go over to the Etsy shop for Confessions of a Paper Addict and get 25% off of your cut file. And that is good through the 20th of December. And I'm going to say that's in New Zealand time, I believe. So you might, if you're in the US, you might want to get it the day before, so like the 19th, because I think they are a day ahead of us. So I am using these cute summer Christmas banners, and I just think they're really cute. It's actually the same file cut twice, and I just flipped them in. One is flipped horizontally. And so I backed them off camera. If you are not sure how to back a cut file, I do include that in one of my upcoming videos where you can kind of see how I do it. But there are other videos out there that will show you in detail how to cut a back file, or to back a cut file. Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. And I'll try to put a couple links to those down below for you. So today we were encouraged to do mixed media. And so I went kind of simple with my mixed media because there's a lot going on with all of the little dangly bits of those cut files, and I didn't want to really detract from that. So I just pulled out some Oxide inks and these stencils, and I am just lightly inking them up. I want to have some tropical foliage because the photos are actually of a luau in December. This was several years ago, actually, but it was at Christmas time. We did a trip to Hawaii. It was a 10-day trip, and we got back, I think, the 22nd or the 23rd of December. So all of the guys in the luau had like Santa hats on for one of the acts, and they did some acts to different kinds of holiday music as well. And so I wanted to include this in my projects this year because I needed to. I'm going to start telling the stories of that trip before too long because I am a behind in my scrapbooking, and the next year that I'm going to be working on includes this trip. So I do work on my old photos and my current photos at the same time, so you'll see those intermixed on my channel in case you weren't aware of that. So you'll see current stuff, and then I will filter in some of the old stuff as well. So the inks that I'm using, they are Oxide inks, and I am going to hold those up in front of the camera in just a moment so you will know what colors those are. And I'm just using the blending brushes that I got from Tailored Expressions. I really like them because they are color coordinated. I don't mind the black ones, which is what I had at first, but I kept picking up the wrong brush and sticking it in the wrong ink when I would work on projects where I was using multiple ink colors. I probably could have solved that problem by color coding them with a piece of washi tape or something, but alas, I did not. I just decided to go ahead and use, to purchase the color coordinated brushes. And I really actually like the brushes a lot better than the foam applicators for stencil work because they don't pick up the edges of the stencil. Like sometimes the foam applicator gets caught on the stencil, and that doesn't happen really with the brushes. But I like the foam applicators to ink the edges of paper. So I still use both, and I think both are very valid ways to ink things. And I guess I'm not going to hold up those inks so that you can see the names of them. I did use Peeled Paint and Rustic Wilderness. I went back and looked, and that's what I used. The Rustic Wilderness is the darker green, and the Peeled Paint is the one that I used for the larger, leafier fronds. So I've got my photos. I'm just going to go ahead and put those down kind of in a bit of a grid layout, and I like them all centrally located. To me, it feels more like a single layout if I do that than if I spread them out into clusters on either side. So that's usually what I do. Sometimes I do kind of spread them out further, but I do really like the way that it looks this way. And so I've got some pictures here of my daughter, my niece, my brother, and my sister-in-law. And this was at a luau. And we did this trip basically for my niece's 16th birthday, and then my daughter and I got to go along as well. And so it was a lot of fun, and I just wanted to go ahead and document that. Now, I did like putting the photos so that the extra photo on each page were, I'm going to say opposite each other, but opposite each other diagonally, not just across, the page. So I've got one high, one low, and that allowed me to bring my banners one high and one a little lower. And I liked that it's visually a little bit more interesting to me rather than keeping the banners all at the top and the photos at the bottom being very linear and like a mirror image of each other. So I thought this was a little bit more fun and just a little bit more, a little bit different to draw your eye across the page. Now I do have these printables. They are from the Sweet Shop, and I believe the collection was called Mele Kalikimaka. And so I am going to use some of those printables that I just had on the screen. I also have some over to the right. I thought I was going to need a lot more of those for this layout, but I ended up not using a whole lot. I just use the little word phrases. And I think I'll probably end up using the other printables in other layouts. So I do have a bunch of these palm fronds that were die cut, and they were done with some mixed media quite some time ago because I've been working on my other Hawaii album for when my husband and I went in 2019. Now the photos in this particular layout I think are from 2008. And so anyway, I kind of just dug into the stuff I had set aside for the layouts that I did for the trip I did with my husband and pulled those pieces out because I didn't like that the banner pieces were ending kind of more in from the edges of the layout. I thought they should either extend all the way out, or I needed like a border piece down there, but then I'd already done the mixed media. So I was trying to find a way to kind of take that out to the edge of the layout, and by putting those palm fronds on there, it kind of reaches or spans the distance all the way across, so it doesn't look like there's just a gap and it's hanging in mid-air. It looks like it's maybe attached to some kind of bush or leaves over there. So I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere the cut file down. I do believe that is like the best adhesive to use. A liquid adhesive at any rate would be the best. But I really prefer the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive because it dries fast. It does give you enough time to move things around just a little bit, but not a whole lot of time. So you're not sitting there waiting for things to dry, like you can't move it because it's going to slide off the page or something like that. And you really only need a tiny bit. It also has such a fine applicator tip that it goes really well on those really fine lines of the cut file, and it doesn't really clog up like some of them do. I leave it open for quite some time. I just tip it on its side like it's laying right now, and I've left it open for over an hour and it doesn't clog. If you do have a clog, you can actually just pop the little nozzle off, and you can run it under some warm water and blow it out, like just blow the water out of it so you don't get a lot of water in with your glue, and then put it back on the bottle. I would also recommend that you do a little test squeeze on it because sometimes there is a little bit of water in the nozzle and you don't want that coming out on your papers or on your cut file. So I really liked the sayings in this digital collection that is it has printables, and they had stuff like Happy Huladays and Seas and Greetings. Seas spelled like S-E-A-S, and Greetings, and I thought that was cute. It said a tropical holiday, ho 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 no snow. There were several other ones, and I just thought it was really cute, so I decided to go ahead and use a bunch of those in these little spaces underneath the cut file. And then this little yellow piece, I'm going to use that just to put a little bit of journaling on, and I believe I stamped that in Scattered Straw Distress Oxide ink. I'm going to stamp the date down, which I believe was December 17th. Oh look, I did show you Huh, wasn't that nice of me? A little after the fact. um, and a little off camera too. I am going to just go ahead and do my journaling on that little yellow piece. It doesn't need a lot of journaling because what I'm going to do is when I put all of this stuff in the same album, then I will add a bunch of the journaling because there's actually more pictures from this luau than what is on this page. But I didn't want to add a whole bunch more because they are different acts or different portions. Like there's a page more about the food and that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to just add everything onto one page because I want to talk a little bit about each thing, you know, the different acts, and then maybe a little bit about the food or about the location and all that good stuff. So there will be more layouts about this trip, and so I don't add a bunch of journaling on this one until I get some of those other pages done. So go and check out everyone else who's playing along with this hop. All of the links are down below, and I really appreciate that Virginia is hosting this, so make sure you go check out her channel and go check out the shop, the Etsy shop for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and there is the information on 25% off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.